What to do with the homeless? Now, the homeless is one of these kind of emotive topics that you hear about. You hear people say, oh, we have X amount of homeless on the street and we have to help them or get them off the street. Well, like everything else in life, it's a very complex thing. There's a huge industry of charities who get very, very rich. I'm talking about the people who work in the charity, and they get 500,000 a year salaries and so on to run these homeless charities, and they're just scams. That's all they are. Now, on the first level is your own personal proactive engagement with the homeless issue. My issue is I directly give money to homeless people on the street. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to go by a registered charity. Well, fuck that. Those registered charities, the CEOs are on like 500,000 a year, and the rest of the other staff are all like loaded, plush offices, private cars, the lot. So I give money. Now people say, well, they could spend the money on drink, on drugs. I don't care. I gave that money as a gift. I don't care if they spend it on a drink, a drug, or a prostitute. That's my gift to them. Once the money has gone from my hand to their hand, I'm not interested in the process, in where it goes. I'm not in the process anymore. If I don't give them money, I'll ask them if they want something. So I'll say, do you want something? Do you want me to get you something from McDonald's, or for a sandwich from a shop, or a coffee, or a tea? I'll do that. Even a bottle of whiskey or something. If they ask me, they could be dealing with toothache, I'll get that for them. I don't care. That's the personal one. If we all did that, that would help a lot. The second one are there's people who are, there's two kinds of homelessness. There's people who, actually there's three really. The first one is people who fell on hard times. They had a drug problem or maybe a mental illness. Maybe you have a lot of war veterans and things like that, and they've come back from the wars and they're not able to adjust into society anymore. They can't even tie their own shoelaces, poor bastards, and they end up on the streets. These are ones who need to be taken care of, and I don't mean pick them up in like paddy wagons and bring them off to some place. They need to be actively dealt with and try to help them get their lives back together again. And if they're homeless families, of course, anyone with children should get the priority there. But otherwise, we can't have a situation with people who, through no fault of their own, ended up on the streets. And I include people who have drink and drug problems. It's not their fault in many ways. Some people do have addictive personalities. You can't be that cruel and cold. And take care of them. Do something. Use public money to take care of them. The other type are people who want to be homeless. Now I know this sounds weird, but there are people who actually choose being homeless. They don't want to be they don't want to be in the system. And in many towns, rural and many provincial towns around Ireland, there's lots of vacant properties, from like old industrial buildings to old offices to even entire houses, and the homeless people move in and live in them, or else they will live a combination of that and on the streets. Or else they'll live a combination of on the streets, and then they'll go to like the hostel to get a wash and a feed. These people should be left alone. This idea of getting them off the streets is none of your business. Some people actually choose to be homeless. That's just their business. Leave them alone. They're probably the nearest thing we have today to modern nomads, and that's how you approach things differently. And then there's also other people who have just can't afford the rent and they fell out of the system. Again, we should help them. But I'm very adamant about not help. If there's ones who prefer to be homeless, leave them alone. And if you want to help the homeless, like any other charity, you give these people money directly into their hands, not through charities who are just like scam artists. In every single case. Now, what you don't do is you don't do something that I saw recently that made my fucking stomach turn. I don't know the name of the actress, Emma something. She's the one who's on the little snooty little bitch on the Harry Potter stupid films, the little bitch wizardette or whatever the fuck she is. And she leaves books around. She's so adorable. She's a millionaire, but how does she help the homeless in London? Well, she leaves books around for people to pick them up and read them. And of course they're all the kind of gick and cack that the likes of Russell Brand would parade around, like Maya Angelou and all this politically correct crap. Not saying Maya Angelou is crap, but when white people talk about how much they love Maya Angelou, it's just bullshit. They're just trying to prove how fucking, unracist they are. And as a day, you're a homeless person, you probably need an operation, you might have cancer, you might have some even agony in a toothache, you might have like a migraine headache, but never mind that TV celebrity is going to leave you a fucking book by the Dalai Lama. You know what I mean? Bullshit. And I saw another thing about some bitch, another fucking, not my president type fucking liberal bitch in Portland, Oregon, and she brings Brooks to the homeless. She brings Brooks to the fucking homeless, isn't she? And she has that like smug, like, oh, I'm such a Clinton voter. I'm so politically correct and wonderful. I'm helping the fucking homeless by giving them a fucking book. I hope, I hope they fucking throw them back in the bitch's face. The only charity that matters in this life, whether it be dealing with the homeless or dealing with somebody who's in need of help, is cash and fucking assistance directly hand on. Stay away from charities. They're all fucking cunts, and only deal directly. And remember, there are homeless people out there who want to be homeless, and leave them alone.